Thank you very much. Welcome to Ground Talk. My name is Ewet Mohali. Today we are in Sicelo, Midvaal. We are talking with Councillor Michael Ndebele, the Councillor of Ward 8 in Midvaal. The place called Cllr. I think everybody knows there's a place called Nkandla, and there's also a place called Cllr. You know, Cllr is a place on the bridge there, on this side. There's also a couple of extensions there. Councillor Ndebele, how are you?
I am fine, yourself?
I'm fine, my leader man. You're welcome to Ground Talk.
Thank you very much.
Leadership, your profile is huge. The profile is huge. If for those that don't know, the councillor is an artisan by profession, and he has graduated at the Vet School of Governance and Leadership in Municipal Governance, and he is a councillor and he is a chief whip of ANC in Midvaal. What a beautiful thing, man! You're wearing so many hats. How are you handling this?
By share like we are trying, let me take this opportunity to thank Ground Talk, your social eye. Based on what you've just said now, if you are dedicated, being a social activist, it's in the blood. So anything that you wanted to do as a leader, you are very keen to learn. So all the things comes is whatever you try to do, you must turn it into gold. Maybe the dedication of wanting to learn a lot, that's what has pushed me to that ability, because I want to make a difference in our community.
Making a difference in the community. Oh, Councillor, you're working, man. You're working leadership. Well done. Well done. Now let's get into the real issues. My leader, since you know that Ground Talk, we're talking about the service delivery in our communities. So please tell us more about what are the the service delivery issues in your ward, and tell us more about it.
Just let me give a background of where I come from. I've been initiated to be a councillor by the by-election on 2013, on the passing of my predecessor, Councillor Musia Malia. That was a big gap, and those shoes, they were very big to fill in. But being young as I was, from 2012 being a ward councillor from the by-election to date, I've tried to make sure at least I fill that gap, and then it was very difficult because you can imagine from a younger age working with the elderly people. So, but through education and dedication and doing what we are supposed to do, as I've said, being a social activist, then it comes easy, it comes handy. And then besides that, I've been doing legal practitioner with the paralegal at Khoso House.
Wow.
So it also gave me the understanding of working with the communities in terms of the legislation on how to deal with those issues. So I've attended political school, and then I grew up in the Sanko movement, which is a social movement.
So when you say Khoso House, you mean that Khoso House
in South Street in Johannesburg? It was once a haven for the comrades from Desmond Tutu era. So I used to attend paralegal classes from that.
Right there where there was a fight between the Inkatha Freedom Party and where the ANC was protecting itself. It was the Khoso House there.
That was Shell House.
Shell House?
Yeah. Khoso House, it was where Black Sash, it was located. So we know Black Sash, it was working in our disadvantaged communities, assisting in terms of poverty alleviation, trainings and all that stuff. There were some extended programs, outreach programs from Black Sash in terms of our paralegals. I was one of those learners with other students from Mpumalanga and other parts of the province. We graduated as the paralegal. The intention, it was that we must go to our areas, became the paralegals, have offices, but due to funding from that time, then maybe that program collapsed. But gaining the experience during that era, it took me to the extra level to be more capacitated and want to do a lot of things, because already I understood the laws and the ESTA laws and all the things that the lawyer was supposed to have done. So paralegal has briefed me a lot in terms of understanding the dynamics.
That's where you learned more about service delivery.
That is whereby I developed the interest of working with our community, understanding from the background. Remember, I was also born within Midvaal.
Okay.
So understanding the dynamics, because Midvaal is a semi-rural area. There are people who are in the farm, there are people in the plots, there are people who are from the township. So their standard of understanding issues is very different. More especially if you come to areas like our township, which is your Sicelo, whereby you'll find there are people who come from the rural areas, they were farm workers, they don't know their rights. This paralegal assisted in advising them so that they must know their rights. So there are people who come from the township, there are people who were in the suburbs, because the informal settlement grew up. Hence I was saying there are a lot of differences within the community. So as a leader, you have to understand all the dynamics of the community. What type of people are you dealing with? So hence it makes it easier as a councillor and an activist. It was easier for me to understand the background. Filling those shoes of my predecessor, it was very easier to come on board and work together, because in terms of team player, you also need to work with people and have the understanding of resolving conflicts. So there were issues around the area of Ward 8, because what I wanted to raise is this, the issue of the current status in Ward 8. The current status in Ward 8, we have a blocks division in our area which we call Extension 5, which is your Sicelo. We also have the area which we call Nkandla, which the other one we call Kuvukiland, and the other one is, we call it Extension 4. There are also the Sicelo proper. Out of all these blocks within Ward 8, they are divided into separate issues. More especially in your Extension 4 and your Extension 5. It is the informal settlement that also needs an upgrading for our people, because the intention of the grading is highly impossible, because the area Extension 5, which we call it Sicelo, it is highly congested. Also in Extension 4, the area, it is an informal settlement. Also, it is highly congested. More of the foreign nationals are found in these two informal settlements, because as the area develops, all the people become so interested in coming to the area. Hence, it creates an influx of the foreign nationals into our area. So the population grows. So the issue of Nkandla, which we call the Sicelo RDP, which is Nkandla, it was developed around 2013, whereby we had some houses which were unfinished. So recently, after 2 weeks, we just distributed 185 title deeds to the residents who are residing in that informal settlement, in that area, which we call it Nkandla. Currently, what is happening? We are busy with the electrification of Extension 5, so that our people can have electricity in Extension 5. We've also provided water, but currently we are still using the communal taps for them to have access to water in the nearby. We also allocated people at Line 47, which we call it Kuvukiland. It is about plus minus 200 households, whereby we've put service stands in that area. We've provided with service taps in the stands. We've provided electricity. As we speak currently, the area is electrified. People are having their own stands as we speak. So, but that is not enough, because our community is overpopulated. Hence, we also need to identify area where we can also give them service stands, because we understand the issue of the RDP housing project. It takes time, and then, but if we move along with the service stands, it will be quicker, and people will have stands when they want to build their own houses. Then they can have their own budget and start building the houses. There is a land that has been procured, which is your Line 77. That land can yield close to 8,000 housing opportunities if things go according to plan, because the province has procured that land. The formulation of the consultant and layout designs has been established, but now what is taking place, it is the issues of the petitions from the neighboring farmers, which they claim that area will bring problems into their surroundings, because for them they feel that area it should be for farming, but currently there's no farming activities that are taking place in that spot. So there are formalities whereby we need to engage, and then our people should be given a better life and subsistence. So intention is to move towards that direction. In terms of poverty alleviation, we do have a program which we call it CWP, your Community Works Program, which initially provided 250 beneficiaries, but recently due to uncertainty, the number has dropped to 120. So this part of CWP, it was a project that will assist us in terms of a safety net. When people get skilled or they get better opportunities, they will exit the program, and then we'll see to it that how best can we utilize the CWP to assist us in terms of our community cleansing in the area. So the issue of the housing, as I've mentioned, we provided title deeds, we've provided service stands along Kuvuki land residents. We are currently earmarking for the Cllr 77 for the human settlement to take place. So we also provided, in terms of the informal settlement, around the issue of sanitation. We've provided portable toilets to the total of 1,050, which make it easier for our people to have better facilities along the issue of sanitation. But around all of this, there are a lot of issues. As you can imagine from the dynamics of what it is, I've mentioned, this area is from a semi-rural area. There are a lot of challenges. The influx of the foreign nationals in our communities, it creates a lot of challenges, which are your social ills. Around the issue of unemployment is very rife in our community. Crime is very high in our community. As you can imagine, if people are unemployed, and then there will be a lot of criminal activities that need to take place. But we are not just sitting along and then folding our arms. We are also embarked on our community patrollers so that at least we can take an initiative in terms of combating crime, so that at least we don't have that much high rate of crime. We are working hand in hand with our police in terms of our sector commander to assist. But our challenge with our police is the issue of resources, like your vehicles, your torches, your radios. But our community, through the ward committee levels, they are trying their best so that at least we establish your block committees. We've also established the street committees. With the street committees, it makes it easier for us as the leadership to understand what is happening on the ground, because if there are no street committees, it makes it difficult for you to understand as a leader up there. Because on the street, that's where all these activities are taking place. The street committees assist the ward committees so that we can have a proper programs, so that we can see how best we can deal with the issue of crime. The issue of unemployment, it is our wish that we can have more programs around the issue of employment. The programs of Nasispani and the recent one, the Hoi Hoi, hopefully we feel and understand that this program, because we have most of our youth who have dropped from school, they will also participate in these activities. Because if they are not participating in the activities, then they will resort to criminal activities. So what we are planning to do and how to solve our problems. We are willing to work with the local municipality, but regardless of the municipality, we are also looking towards working hand in hand with the provincial government in terms of programs, in terms of our your poverty alleviation from the social development, so that at least we can start empowering our youth, and the focus it should be more into our special economic zones, because we understand Midvaal is one of the food basket in terms of agriculture. If we can bring those programs in terms of agricultural upskilling of our youth, it can make a lot of difference, because there's a lot of land around Midvaal. So if that land can be utilized correctly in terms of our youth empowerment, we can go a long way. So around the issue of challenges in terms of the current situation, probably in terms of our local influx, we are having a serious concern around the issue of our foreign nationals. If the Department of Home Affairs can also assist around the issue of the foreign nationals, because what is happening, the committee feels that the foreign nationals are taking away their job because they want to get cheap labor around it. Hence, it creates problem for our local communities. So the issues and challenges around service delivery matters. As the leader of caucus in Midvaal, we feel that there are a lot of service delivery matters around Midvaal. The issue of housing of people in Mamelo, the project has been stalled since 2013, whereby the contractor has even left site because there is no progress in terms of the servitude that needs to be sorted out. So our people in Mamelo, Ward 1 in Midvaal, they are still staying in Cllr. The houses that they are staying under, even if you can go there, you will find that those houses, they are still roofed with asbestos. They are cracked, you can see from outside whilst you are inside. The issue of Savannah City, I think everybody is aware in terms of the national media. There are issues of water, which the water is not clean. The community feel uncertain and unsafe with the water, the way they received it. When Savannah City was still under the past administration, there were no issues of water issues, electricity issues. Currently, we are sitting with a challenge of unfinished houses, whereby the municipality does not sign other contracts, whereby the province need to proceed with the housing of those issues. So we feel that in terms of service delivery issues around Midvaal, these matters should be addressed so that our people can get a better life. Then we proceed and do better things. Irrespective of us understanding Ward 8 currently, we are divided by the R59, which is the west side and the east side. We are on the eastern side of the municipality. If you go towards the CBD, you'll find that the area is very clean, the area is well looked after, the area is well taken off. But if you cross around, across R59, you find a different world altogether. There are two cities in Midvaal. You go to Sicelo, the first introduction, you find that there are informal settlement, there are illegal dumping. So you feel that the clean governance that the Midvaal is talking about, it is not what is being represented on the ground. So yes, on the paper it is very good, but go on the ground, you find it a different story. You go to your Kayelicha, in Cllr, Ward 12, as I'm speaking on behalf of the leadership of the caucus across Midvaal. So you find that our people still living in Cllr, they are getting waters from the water tankers. And then what is happening with the water tankers, then sometimes those water tankers, they are complaining, they feel that those tankers are not clean. So it is uncertain where do they get those waters from. So the issue of Pillis Farm, people from Pillis Farm have been promised that they will get land so that at least they can have a better life in that area. Till to date, those people are still living in informal settlement. They are using portable toilets, chemical toilets. They are also using tankers for their water. So this raises a much concern in terms of development across Midvaal. But hopefully what we are looking at now, because now it's national elections, we think our people will do well and then also focus in the local elections. They must think what needs to be done around the area. So there's a lot that needs to be done around the issue of Midvaal. More especially, the least we are doing, but it is not enough. So, but we are trying by all costs that our people get a better understanding how we move towards. As the ward councillor who's been elected, as the ward committee I'm working with, they have a trust in us since I've been elected from 2013 till to date. This shows the trust that the people have bestowed upon me, and I am willing to take this community to the next level. I want in my next term or in my next life, everything and everybody should have a better life. As we have promised that, we'll make sure that all the people must work with us then so that we can build this community together. It is not my own community, but working together with the community, I believe we can do more. So I would also like to thank the Ground Talk, which is a social eye, for giving us this opportunity. Hopefully, and our people will take it forward, and let's work together as a community. I'd like to thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Councillor, my man, you remind me of a state of state of governance address.
State of the address.
Yeah, so you remind me of that, my man. That's a right person for position of a chief whip. Man, you know it all, man. It's loaded in here.
Yeah, possibly it must be in the blood, because I say when it's in the blood, then you will take it out of your blood system when you're donating with your blood. So, but if it's in the blood, it must just flow.
That's excellent, my leader. I have one of the two questions. My leader was, who's responsible for electricity in your ward?
MMC Reginald Hubbard, she's the one from the engineering department who's dealing with that. But the money of the electrification of informal settlement in Sicelo, it comes directly from our provincial government as the grant. This shows the best that as the leadership, the grant that is coming from National Treasury and Provincial Treasury, it comes directly to the community on the ground, whereby it must service all our people. So the money, it comes from the provincial government.
So who is responsible for, I was driving in Sicelo, from Nkandla to Silahliwe. Man, I saw like it's like Eskom has electrified the place, like I saw the lines of electricity. Who's responsible for that?
Yeah, thanks. That's a good question. You see, when I say we've got a lot of challenges in our area, the issue of electrification, it was raised long time ago in our IDPs. Hence, when we say the influx of the foreigners, they come with the ideas of illegally connecting electricity.
Oh, it's foreigners.
They came with this idea that it must be connected from the power lines. Then that's why now our community have a buy-in, because now it's a free electricity for all. So hence the electrification of Extension 5 in Silahliwe will close the tap so that there can't be the illegal connections. The municipality will also revenue money out of the purchasing of electricity by the community in Extension 5. Hence we want to electrify the whole informal settlement in Ward 8, Extension 4 and now Extension 5.
Councillor, do you feel that you're getting supported by the municipality with regard to service delivery? Because I've seen just next to ZCC Church there, where there was a pump, a tap, in the Smolanyana Bridge. There's been illegal dumping there for a long time. But when I pass there right now, like as we speak, they were removing illegal dumping there. So who do you think you're getting support from municipality or not?
You see, in terms of the municipal support, because we are divided into political issues. Remember, your Ward 8 is an ANC ward.
Oh.
And then the municipality is governed by the DA. Oh. So if the money comes from provincially or national, I think you yourself, as a breadwinner to me, you will think, before I can give this money, let me check who do I give it to. Do I give it to my side chick or do I give it to my wife? But in terms of balancing the equations, also from the ward, which is our ward, we are getting a support, but it is not as much as we can, because we must back to the municipality, and then they will also want to dictate terms as how they want to assist us. Around the issue of Bell Road, the legal dumping that you have seen when you drive around there, the trucks were moving into the informal settlement, but because of this illegal connection, the wires, the trucks couldn't go inside for refuse collection. What our people does, also our people, they need to come on board, play a prominent role in terms, we can't just blame all together, because also as a community, we need to have a responsibility. What they are doing, they take the refuse or rubbish, they throw it across the site. And then remember, in terms of your water storm management, it blocked when it rains, coming all the way from Kantla towards Extension 4. The water outlets are blocked because of this refuse and the waste, and then it backflows into the shacks, into the houses. Then the community start complaining about the flooding of the houses, because even though when we say you cannot do that because you block your areas of water and then comes back to your communities. That's all the time. When it's rainy season, we're having problem with the flooding of houses along Belt Road on that stormwater management line.
But Councillor Ndebele, now your community has grown. You find Zimbabweans, Malawians, you find people from Sebokeng, you find everybody is in Sicelo right now because there's a lot of shacks in there. What is it that's attracting them, and how are you keeping, how do you know that in this tent, this is the family, or these are people staying there, because they can still be even criminals?
We are correct. Remember when I started in 2012 being a councillor, we did not have this much number as we have currently. There was not the issue of illegal connections. So because of the development of the area, people, when they see that this area develops, they will come from outside areas, because now they can see that side we've got free electricity, that side is closer to the CBD. If I'm looking for employment, I will go to the surrounding areas and go and look for work, but in this area I won't pay rent. Hence also our people, they don't want to, hence our people, what they want to do, they also want to rent these foreign nationals, because they know that we are unemployed, then we'll make a living out of them. In one plot, for example, you'll find that maybe there are about 8 shacks. So only to find that maybe all those 8 shacks in that one block, they are rented to one person, because he'll say, he will claim that he is the owner of that property. But because when we develop this area, then we make sure that we prioritize our South African citizens, because that's where our voters are at.
But you keep order there?
Order working with the ward committees, with the street committee. As I've mentioned that we've got street committees, we've got block committees. The street committees are making sure that on the street whereby they stay, any activities that is taking place, either it's a new erection of a shack, they must report it to us so that we know that this is a new shack. Then we call the enforcement to take out our checks, because we cannot keep on planning and planning while the number is growing. So it makes it as difficult for us to plan, because even currently in Cllr Extension 5, we've moved people from your Sicelo flats, we've moved people from Nkandla, we've moved people to Kuvukile. So we've moved people to 188, which is Mafinyatlar. So still that area is still congested, because once you move out people, then somebody will come in and fill the shack. So we've came to terms that as the community and the leadership, we don't want to allow other new shacks currently, because now we want to focus in terms of the development. Hence people, they move from outside Mfuleni, they will come. Others have moved from Sicelo, they've gone out. Now they see the development, they want to move back. So we are playing that hide and seek game. So hence we want to reinforce our agreement with the community. We don't want to allow any shacks, because we can't move with our development. We will keep on blaming councillors. Even the current councillors we will blame. Even the next one we will blame, because the community does not want to work hand in glove with the leadership.
So let's put it straight. You do not allow new shacks.
We say it's a no-no to the new shacks in the community. What we are doing now, we are working on the development of the community. Remember, we raised these issues in the IDP that we want housing, we want electricity, we want water. Now we are implementing those processes. So if we keep on bringing in new people, the budget, it will be insufficient for this community, and then we'll have to go to national treasury, provincial treasury, request funding, then municipalities, maybe you won't be giving that money. Also then there will be these popcorn leaders that will influence the community to embark on the service delivery and protest. that they are not assisted, whilst the very same committee members are the ones who are bringing people from outside. So let's stop putting new people so that we can focus. We've got this Cllr 77 land, which we've said it will yield close to 8,000 housing opportunities. So we can imagine that 8,000 housing opportunities, can cover almost the area of Midvaal. So let's work according to plan so that we can deal with the issues, so that everybody must come and work with us. But our challenge with our committee is that, Mr. Mohale, you see, towards December festive season, our people, they will go to areas in terms of their homeless, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Lesotho, Free State. But January, normally in December, we do have closing public meetings. We inform them that, please, when you come back, don't come with new bodies.
5 people.
5 people. So you can imagine you were 2, when you come back,
7.
It's 7. So then they don't have a birth certificate, kids need to go to school, so it creates a pressure on our schools also. You go to Sicelo Primary, that is a prefab structure school, and then it was accommodated only for people around Sicelo, but now it has become a mega primary school.
Is that why when you walk around you see small children playing outside at 10 o'clock in the morning when they're supposed to be at school?
Definitely correct, because you go to the township in the area like now around 10 o'clock, whereby everybody is at school. You'll find smaller kids roaming around the area. But what we have done along those issues, we've got the programs of our day mother models, whereby we've encouraged a group of mothers who will have maybe a certain number of children to look after. Maybe she will look after the 6 children, then the municipality will also assist in terms of funding that program, because the brainchild behind this Kahoyabana in terms of the Engaging Parents program, so that at least the mothers, because we know that they are employed, they must understand how to bring differences in terms of the community, because Cllr is very fertile in terms of economic boost. You look into the waste that you are talking about. If we have a buyback center whereby we can do the waste management, people can come and buy boxes, plastics, bottles, then the very same community will work around that in terms of boosting their own economy. It is not that people, they must go out to look for work whilst they are living gold inside their area. People from outside, in terms of your NGO, they will come into Sicelo, see that there is a lot of activities that needs to be done. Then they will come and do those practices. So the issue of children is very key, because we've got close to 18 mothers which are looking after 6 children. So you can imagine if you multiply 18 by 6, so how many children are in the safe hands, because they are like in your pre-crash. Those mothers, they will teach them how to write, and then when they are on the grade R level, at least they go to the grade R school or creches, then they are well connected in terms of the environment.
My leader, when you enter Bell Road, passing Nkandla on the left, and going straight to that ZCC area, that area is clean. But when you go to that other side of the White House, when you enter from the bridge there, the grass is this high, my leader. How are you going to sort that out? Is it the municipality that's supposed to cut that grass, or what?
Yeah, in terms of the municipality, that falls under the social services department. So in terms of the parks, it's the one that have to cut the grasses. We raise those issues because remember, now we are approaching winter. That will be a criminal haven. People will be marked and they will be robbed because criminals will be hiding in those spots. So what the municipality does when it cuts grass, it only cuts on the service sheet of the municipality, which is about 1 meter from the road. So, and then we've got those open stands. That area that you're talking about, it's called a super block. So in that area, you find that there are stands which are not occupied. People have bought those land and then they are not using those stands. So now the municipality must charge those people in order for it to clean, because now it is their owner's responsibility to make sure that those stands are clean. But because they are sitting somewhere, then the municipality must cut those vacant stands and clean and charge those people. That's what we've raised in council as the councillors, that these open stands are creating a challenge for us.
This is great, my leader. So do you emphasize the bylaws?
Yes, in terms of the bylaws, remember you see the inequality that our people are facing. As much as we can talk of the bylaws, let's say, for example, in your area of your RDP houses where we've allocated people RDPs, people now, in terms of the bylaws, your building regulation, people are not adhering to that. You'll find people has established about 5 shacks in the property because the person is unemployed, he's got nowhere. So the only alternative that he sees he can make money is to have people to erect shack in a property and pay rental. So out of that rental, and then that's why they can survive. Remember, those RDP houses, more especially in our communities, are of indigent, more especially in our low-income earning areas. Most of our communities, they are indigent. So in the municipalities, very seldom where they'll be employed because now the data is very high, then everything is being politicized. You see this kind of development. So it creates a problem. Sometimes other people are beyond the age of 65. So it's very difficult to employ a person who's 65 years old because already that person is a pensioner. Then being a pensioner, she's left with the great children. Maybe the parents have passed on because of the scourge of HIV and AIDS or any other illnesses. Because if you are in employment, if there is poverty, all types of diseases, they will come and attack you because you can't live a healthy lifestyle.
My leader, you are the chief whip now. I'm going to branch a little bit. Dry, Harold's Farm, that area, my leader, is not well taken care of. I mean, I've been there, I've seen people, even the horses here in Wadi Level. How are you developing those people's lives? It is in another ward. I know it's not Ward 8. But as a chief whip, I believe you know what's going on there. The lives of those people.
Yeah, that is a sad story, especially around Midvaal. Remember, Midvaal was based on farms whereby people were farm workers. Hence the establishment of Sicelo. That's why you find most of the people move closer to Cllr because they were chased away by their bosses and then it was very difficult. You've raised a serious concern around the issue of Dry, and then you've also there is other one, Ndebele, Stagwa, those small informal settlement around those areas. There was also Harold's Farm. Most of other peoples, they were moved to Harold's Farm. So the challenge around Ndebele, when there are processes of registering people for your subsidy registration, remember this they are led sometimes by other councillors, which are your DA-led councillors. So in terms of public meetings, our people in those areas, they are not even called to public meetings because the councillor, she's a white person, maybe she's scared to go to those communities. So our people, they don't get information. Hence, when states programs of subsidy registration take place, they find themselves being left out. Hence, we find out some of our people, we've got this smaller informal settlement, like your farm shacks, dwellers. So hence this project of the Line Kill 77, which I was referring to, the one that will yield close to 8,000 housing opportunities. If that process can be unleashed, the whole informal settlement around Midvaal, whereby some are left at the plot, some are left on the farms to mend their own things, they can be accommodated in this project. So because now the municipality wants the province to put infrastructure, electricity, roads, and everything before moving people there. So you can imagine that it's a long goal, but we were of the view that if people can be moved and allocated stands there at Line Kill 77, stands to be packed. When we take these people from out there, then the services will follow them whilst they are there. It will be easier as compared budget allocations. You know this issue of budgeting, treasury, and so it was better if people are there. Then, like what we have done in extension for Kuvuki Land and Slatly, we've moved people in Kuvuki Land, electrify them, give them water. So those people now, they are sitting there, they have water, they've got electricity. So if we can come up with that program, and it's a very sad story of people in Boundary Road, but the people of Ndebele, because if you go there, that is where it was the stable of the horses.
Horse stable.
Yes. Yes. So you find people that some of them, they do not have IDs. We've been there, checked actually where were you coming from before you were here. So they was working for another person who was owning the race course or something like that. So they were workers. So, but now we are also, the municipality is not looking after them because they feel that those people, they've got nothing to do with them. They are not their voters, hence they are neglected them.
Or the municipality.
Yeah. So hence they put the tank, even the issue of the water tanks, it is not safe because you can imagine if you put the tank like with Tumelo. So you put a tank along the road there, then somebody come at night and put poison, all those people in that area will be dead. So this is a sad state of affairs that as Midvaalers we are facing, more especially from the black communities.
Do you encourage your NGOs in the society to at least make food for them, do kitchen soap, or etc.?
We are very open to any assistance that will assist our people. Remember, all the NGOs, they are also governed by the legislations. They also need to speak to the social development in terms of the beneficiaries. We do have NGOs like your Agape, which are doing a great job in around Midvaal. But also we are looking for NGOs that are willing to come and work with us in providing not only your food kitchens, but only to empower our people in terms of your skills development. If you empower a person in terms of maybe waste recycling, or sewing, or whatever strategies that can assist them to stand up and do difference. Like for example, I'm very interested in this thing of waste management. You find all the plastics from ShopRite lying all over the place in our township. If we can get a team of people who can focus on waste management training, we take those plastics, we cut them into pieces, more especially for the elderly, those who are unemployable. Cut those plastic, buy soles of shoes, do hairs, plastic hairs, do shoes, plastic shoes. We sell those to the public. We go to your events and then market to that group of elderly or maybe orphans or child-headed families. Then it can also bring a difference in terms of poverty elevation.
Let me remind our viewers that we are still, you're still watching Ground Talk here, talking to Councillor Michael Ndebele of, he's a councillor of Ward 8 and a chief whip of ANC in Midvaal. Councillor, the situation of Mamello, man. No, my leader. Situation of Mamello. You go to Mamello 9 years ago, Mamello is still the same now. But then how are you going to help those people? Because now I understand that they still struggle there and there with water and electricity. And their life is not like the life of people that are staying on this side. Those people, they are the ones that are supposed to be called Cllr. I mean, they are so isolated.
Mr. Mohali, the truth of the matter is that those people really, it's like those people have been abandoned. You look solely on the setup of Mamello. When you enter Mamello, you go towards Valmarina, you find that there are posh houses. That is the holiday homes for your millionaires and billionaires. So those people are hidden behind the hill. You will not even be aware that there are people living that side. So along the road to Valmarina, on the right-hand side, there is a development of the human settlement. The property has been there since from 2013. That property was earmarked for the development of the low-cost housing of the people of Mamello. So what is happening? We are only stuck with the issue of the servitude. Remember this land, it was a private property from the owner of the farm whereby this project is allocated at. So because of the sewer network, that's where the challenge is. Because what is left with Mamello, it is only the top structure and the sanitation. But now there is a servitude that needs to be bought by the municipality because the contractor was on site, he even left on site because he couldn't do anything. So remember the frustration of the people of Mamello. As I've said, some of the people, they were born in Mamello. Some have grown old now. They are even 40 years. They were there. You go to those houses, you can see the squalor in which our people are living under. Also the sad story of the people of Mamello. The issue of the foreign nationals, it also comes again on point, because there are foreign nationals which are in Mamello, which are giving our people a hard time. They are harassing our people because in those posh houses, the issue of unemployment, these people, the owners of the Valmarina area, they employ these foreign nationals for cheap labor. Hence also our people again, they must struggle. So the issue of Mamello, we want to make sure we also raise this with the provincial leadership. And then we were from the ANC in the Cllr recently. The issue of Mamello, it was also raised in the Cllr, because remember Mamello, it is our people who are residing there. Because in terms of the amenities, they want to go to the shop, they want to go to the school, it is a challenge. So if this development can proceed, and then there can be also opportunities in terms of your development, because now the route that goes to Valmarine, it creates a problem because they don't want to be seen, they are considered to be disabled. Hence this project there. When people come into Valmarina, they will start seeing that this is uncalled for. It will devalue the area. But now what the whites have done around that area, they've turned that development into their playground. December last year, they were having their quad bikes, teaching their youngsters driving. So now for them, it is the playground for them. So it is uncalled for. We are still calling our senior principals to make sure that Midvaal, at least the issue of servitude is being addressed as speedily as available, because now we feel as if the DA municipality is misleading the community, or maybe it advises the farmer to dilly-dally with the arrangement, because today they will agree that the route of the servitude must go this way, or tomorrow then there's another plan. The farmer is got swinging moves. He's happy today, tomorrow is telling another story.
You mean these farmers of Midvaal?
The farmer whereby the servitude must go.
In Mamello, yes.
In Mamello.
Yeah.
So now we feel that there is a lot of politics that is taking place. But I think maybe the issue of expropriation of land and compensation, if it is to work, then we must start implementing it there, because this issue of buying the servitude is like it's becoming political.
With or without compensation?
Without compensation.
Without compensation.
Definitely.
Do you think those people are going to agree with that?
No, if that is the issue, we understand that we'll be having a pushback, but there are courts which we can attend our cases to. The matters can be referred to court, because at the end of the day, it is our people who are staying there, then they are the ones who are suffering. You can go to those houses. Those houses, it's as if they were built in 1912. If that house falls, then it means those people who are inside, they can all die. So you see now also the municipality will be held liable in terms of your disaster management. How do you assist? How do you move these people? Because they are staying on a disastrous area.
Coming back to your ward 8, how are you improving the SMMEs?
In terms of the SMMEs, the issue of the MMCs, what we need to understand, I just want to go back a little bit by what the president has said. There is this tendency of the SMMEs.
Or the former president,
no, the current,
Jacob Zuma, or the current?
No, the current.
Or the
current Cyril Ramaphosa.
Okay.
The issue of the SMMEs, there is this battle of the 30%. Everybody will go and establish a company. When there are projects in the company, in the communities, then people will go and demand 30%. They think maybe 30% comes in a monetary form. They don't know whether that 30% it must form part of the scope in terms of your training, services and stuff like that. But around my community, the issue of SMS is they've grouped them together, and then they are working well. If ever there are any activities, I engage them, call them that there's going to be this project that is going to take place in my ward. But what I'm fighting all about, our SMMEs, they've got the tendency when the main contractor is coming on board, they'll want to have a separate meeting, demand the scope of work, and then once they are given the scope of work, they want to dictate the terms. So it creates a problem, because remember, it also hampers with the service delivery. So when that process unfolds, I also encourage the very same SMMEs, guys, if you are requesting your BOQs, your scope of work from the main contract, also the laborers on the ground, what you do on the right-hand side, you must also do on the left-hand side, because we must also employ our local people, because we want to make sure that the employment, we move the scale in terms of unemployment, we move the goalposts. So working with the SMMEs, we are working, but they've got their way of thinking. They don't want to engage the councillors. They think as if we are business people. As councillors, we bring projects or companies to come and serve the community, but also the SMMEs, they need to play their role in terms of employing our local people.
Do you hold meetings with them and conscientize them?
You see, the SMMEs, Mr. Mahali, they're operating like politicians.
Okay.
At times they feel that they want to work and then they'll group themselves, because you'll find that there are two groups in one lot. There is this group A, group B. Then once this one they work, then you'll find they group themselves. They even subcontract amongst themselves. They close out our general laborers, which are our community members. So, but if they can work together, form forums, get established, so that as councillors, we know that I've got this business forum. Then when there are issues, we call them under one roof. Like currently in our ward, when we have projects, you'll have this group coming this direction, because in my ward committee, I've got a person who is leading the issue of the local economic development. So he's the one who must form the leadership, have a subcommittee of the SMMEs, have the chairperson and structure. But even some of the SMMEs, they even don't want to see him. So you see, in terms of governance, it creates a problem for us as the leadership, because in terms of legislation, you have a ward committee member who must strictly focus in terms of local economic development. How best can we empower them? They should not only wait when there are projects, because when there are no projects, they are so quiet like a sea. But once there is a project coming our way, then that's when they'll start raising their head. I normally tell them that you only raise your head when there are projects. But when there is nothing, we are quiet, you'll be running around, going elsewhere. But if there's something, then you want to fight amongst yourself. At the end of the day, you're going to kill yourself.
One last question. What are you going to do with that illegal electricity that is in full view of everyone? What are you going to do with it?
The issue of illegal connection, I think you drove around Extension 4, Extension 5. People in Nkandla, they are buying electricity, but they are suffering. People from Extension 4, they are getting electricity freely. Hence what is taking place, every Tom, Dick and Harry, he is a service provider. You've got your ESCOM, you've got your Cllr, all the power suppliers. So because they are making money out of this thing, when they connect those wires on the grid, and then they request money, rental money from people, then people will collect money. But I raise meetings with them, especially those we know. They are known. There is a syndicate of people. Yeah.
Right there in
Cllr.
Yeah.
As they were pushbacking this issue of the electrification, because now they realize that once this project has been implemented, then we are going to suffer. So, but we are moving on with this project of electricity. But in Extension 5, the issue of electrification, remember I mentioned the issue of the foreign nationals. There are those when we want to register, they do not have documents, they are using passport, then they will go hire someone's ID so that they can register for the electrical box, because remember we earmark this electrification for South Africans first, and then the rest will follow. So now this issue of corruption is taking place. So we are working hand in glove with the street committees and the ward committees and the CLO to make sure that we rectify the matter. We're going to revisit those who have registered illegally for the boxes, and then we're going to take out those boxes, because that electricity must go to the relevant people. So those wires, they are to be cut off once we are done. Illegal connection, people must learn that in terms of progressive citizenry. They must start buying electricity, because our country, it is where it is today because of the illegal connections. Even the big companies, they've connected illegally, but will be always blaming the government that illegal connection, it is a man-made. Yes, it is a man-made thing because people are connecting electricity illegally.
Councillor Ndebele, one last question, man. I've been saying one last question. Long time ago, when I was still working with you, there was a gentleman by the name of Honorable Opa Mahakwe. That man was fighting for skip bins. Do you have skip bins even, right now? Has that program been implemented or not?
Yeah, you talk of activities, my leader. We had a lot of activities from the activists. The current person you're talking about, Opa Mahakwe, was not only fighting for skip bins, because in the previous administration from the ward committee level, he was heading social services. So he was also working towards that the children at Cllr Primary must have the bus that will transport them from Extension 5. You can imagine a grade R child which is 5 years going to Sicelo, winter, it's raining, to Cllr Primary. Till today, we've raised the matter with the department. Till today, we were told about the 5-kilometer radius, which even today it has not taken place. So the issue of the skip bins, it is a competence of the municipality. I think you've mentioned the issue of the illegal dumping along Bell Road and LJ Malaya. Across the informal settlement, it is very high. We were told by the municipality that the issue of the skip bins, it won't work. Literally so, that's why it won't work, that people will put the refuse or the waste outside the skip bins instead of the skip bins.
Was it the municipality?
The municipality. On LJ Malia Bridge, by the White House, we tried to put the skip bin. Then also between Extension 5 and Kuvukiland, we put the skip bins. So in reality, our people were doing the very same thing which the municipality was doing.
Throwing the waste outside.
Outside.
Not inside.
Inside.
Oh,
not inside. At times we will find children playing inside the skip bins. So then they demanded that there must be a ramp that must be placed on the, so that at least we can have accessibility. What we did with the waste management around the skip bins, it was that we've got the CWP beneficiaries. We would encourage them, when the skip bins are not filled in, the waste is out of, then they must go and repack the skip bins. So you see, it was double job. And so unfortunately there was a theft that took place in the CWP container whereby all the tools were stolen. Till today, the CWP can't do most of the useful work. But the skip bins, our community really, they need to be empowered. Even though they are empowered, it's like ignorance. I don't know, maybe how best can we change their thinking.
Do you engage on community education to educate the community that you don't throw the waste outside the skip bins, you throw them inside the skip bins?
Let me just give you a sense around the corner of LJ Malaya and corner Bell Road. Just on that corner, on that 90-degree corner, there is a culvert. It carries the water out of your RDP towards this side of the White House. So they've even turned that smaller portion into an illegal dump. I personally asked them, somebody will come, an elderly person with a wheelbarrow, and ask him or her, why are you dropping your refuse there? Then he will literally tell you, no, the municipality will come and take it from there. When you ask, who is the municipality? He will say, Councillor, you are the municipality. So you will make sure that this thing is being moved. So in our public meetings, we do address these issues. Like as I've mentioned along Bell Road, whereby this waste, it blocks the water outlets, then they even get themselves filled with their water in their houses. So we sing that song. We had even lost the chorus of the song.
Your ward committee, why can't it be the one that is monitoring the situation and seriously making sure that that is not happening?
In terms of our ward committee, remember we've got all these supporting structures like your ward committees, street committees, your CWP, and then we've got other programs around the ward. So working as a collective around those type of leaders, the community, hence I'm saying, I've got the serious concern, I'm not xenophobic, I've got the serious concern about people coming from outside because they just do as they wish. Then they will tell you that, I'm not from here, my place is Eastern Cape, or
I come from Maputo,
I come from Maputo. When Nigeria, I die, I'll be buried there. But at the end of the day, they are causing us trouble.
Big ish. All right, my leader, thank you very much. You've said mouthful. Like on a councillor's point of view, on a chief whip point of view, as a concerned community activist, everything, my leader. Well done. Well done, my leader. And keep it up.
Thank you very much.
What would you like to say to your community with regard to service delivery in Ward 11?
What 11?
Yeah.
People of Ward 11, we are having a serious challenge around the issue of Ward 11. There's always a lot of service delivery issues in Ward 11, whereby people are always complaining. One, it is the issue for economic empowerment. There's a lot of developments that is to happen around Ward 11. So it's like people are left outside.
What 8, man? What 8?
Oh.
You're saying what 11?
What is Ward 11?
No, it's fine with that cat. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Residents from Ward 8, around the issue of service delivery, we need to work together as a collective, because remember, the outsiders are not going to make sure that the area of Ward 8, it must be looked after, it must be taken care of, crime must not happen. So if we don't work together as a collective, people will come and hijack our area. And then at the end of the day, we'll start complaining and say, our councillors are not assisting us. Whilst us as the community, we are just giving the councillors a pushback. You've got the ward committees that you need to work with. You've got your street committees that you need to work with. You've got your block committees that you need to work with. All these frameworks that we have established in the community, we wanted to make sure that we work together. But what we are saying, the issue of giving people from the communal taps, we do have communal taps. Every weekend, it cannot be correct to have taps broken because we are from the weekend and then the taps are broken. We let the water run. Tomorrow we'll be crying. South Africa has now become a water scarce country. If we don't look after our resources, then we're going to suffer the consequences, because those things are man-made. Around the issue of electricity, let us stop bypassing electricity, because at the end of the day, the bypassing of electricity becomes one of our our electricity loss. Hence, municipality must make sure that it pays the water loss and the electricity loss. That money, it will come from our services when we purchase electricity or when we pay for rates and taxes. So in terms of the indigent members, we understand that our community are of indigent values, but we are giving 50 kilowatts of electricity and 600 kilowatts of water. So let us make sure we use water sparingly. Let us not open for car washes and waste water as we want to, because if we don't take care of that, then we'll be suffering. The other thing which I want to raise, which is of great concern, every weekend the ward committees are having a challenge around the group of a WhatsApp that we have established that we call Sicelo Speak Out. You find that there are children, small children, the age of 3, 5 years, they are lost, they are not looked after. So parents, take care of your children, because now the children are being taken to other countries in terms of child trafficking and in terms of human trafficking. If your child is not around you, within 2 hours, make sure and check where is your child. We've got a case in Somerset West in the Western Cape of Jocelyn. Till to date, the child has not been found. So people will steal your children and sell them for human body parts. So let's stay safe and look after our children. That is the main issue which I want to raise with the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's Ground Talk, and my name is Ndebele Mohale, and let's see you in the next episode. Councillor Chief Whip is whipping my leader. Thank you very much. Man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bali.
Yeah, thank you, my leader.